Now what I've got here is an aftermarket side step. This is from LR Parts. Now it's massively cheaper than a standard traditional original Land Rover part, but is there really that much in it? I mean, it's a fairly basic piece of engineering here. It's just two pieces of metal connected with bolts and a spring. I mean, it's not a lot to it, and yet this is £75 cheaper than an original Land Rover part. So for about just over 40 quid, I think these are, and you get all the fixings, you get the support bar as well, and I really like the traditional look. You can buy an original Land Rover rubber piece. They're not cheap, but when you combine this with an aftermarket step, because they're exactly the same size, you can take this rubber off, you can drill out these rivets, and you can just replace that rubber with a Land Rover one, and you've pretty much got what I would consider to be a very, very good replacement and a very original looking part for less than half the price of one from Land Rover. So if you want that genuine look, and it's something you really want to maintain on your vehicle, if you're replacing like for like, maybe you don't have to replace them all, although it's likely, you could go down the road of buying an aftermarket step and a genuine rubber and just combine the two. It's super easy and it would look really good. So that is definitely an option. So how hard is it to fit them? Now, the reason this looks a little bit different is because I've actually removed the side sills. Now, I've done that because I had to get access to the bolts to remove the old side steps, and they were really hard work. So if you're going to be removing any kind of step, whether it's a old folding style side step or the side runners, whatever you've got on your vehicle, if you're going to be removing them, the easiest thing to do is take these sills off. Now, I was really lucky. The front two folding steps on R110 did unbolt. So as soon as we got them unbolted, I did put a lot of penetrating oil on there, let it penetrate for over a day. The front ones came off okay. The back ones, I needed to use some vice grips to hold some of the blistered nuts. And in the end, one of them had to be cut off because I just literally couldn't get it off. So once they're all in place, we've got them all bolted in, we can then fit our side sills afterwards. It's a much easier way of doing it, I found. So we've got fixing points. We've got one hole here, and we've got one hole here, and those are the two positions that we removed our side step from, and they are probably, I'm pretty sure, the same positions that we're going to be mounting the side steps onto. And we'll also be using, on both designs, they have a bar that stretches across like the traditional fold-up side steps that goes into our riv nuts in the chassis. Now luckily these are really good, they came off easily. I didn't know that we were going to have to reuse them on both sides, so I put the bolts back in to keep moisture and everything out of the threads, but we're going to be going back into those anyway. So that gives you an idea of what we're working with. You've got this rail that runs all the way along the sill, and that's what you're mounting your steps onto, and then you're just supporting them by mounting them onto the chassis. You've got these two holes here on the brackets. They literally get offered up into that channel and we'll bolt it in. Now in this kit you do get riv nuts as well, but they are not the hex type. They actually you'll need a riv nut setter to put them in. So good luck with that. Okay, so try not to drop it on your head because it is quite heavy. So this actually goes inside the channel. Okay. One. I'm hoping there's no wobbling required, no movement. That's straight in there, look. Oh, that's not a 13. That's interesting. I don't know why they wouldn't just use a 13. Never mind. Yeah, it's a 12. Oh, you little... Do you want to know the good news or the bad news? Good news is it's a 13 on the back and a 12 on the front. So the nut is a 13 and the head on the bolt is 12. Now don't do them up tight because we've got to put that bar in yet. If you want to, you can actually assemble these before you put them onto your vehicle, which might be a bit easier. But just remember, unlike in the video where I fitted it incorrectly, and I've now addressed that, but you want the bar, the flat section needs to go against the chassis, the curved bent piece needs to be going from the bottom facing upwards onto this bracket. And remember, it's a 12 and a 13. So, like that. There we go, and that's how we have it. So when it's on the vehicle, you've got the most support on that bracket that you can get to support the weight on the step. you know, I am best part of 19 stone. So this poor step's going to get an absolute battering. So we'll make sure these are nice and tight, shall we? So there is our new flippable step. Like it. So out of the box, these do look very easy to move. I don't know if I want them quite that easy. So I think you can tighten these up a little bit. Yep. Just to make them how you want them. It's pretty simple. There. I don't want them flapping about when I'm driving, so I've tightened that up so it's stiff. So that's much better. And obviously that's going to get better with time, but yeah, really good.